We are on the record July 16, 2025 at 2 o'clock. Unsafe building hearings. Hearing authority, K. Mark Lloyd, also Franklin City Court Judge. On our agenda today, we first of all have the property at 555 Hurricane, followed by the property at 11.5 or 115 Jet Ulysses. Updates on both. On behalf of the city, raise your right hand for me.
Yep.
Solemnly swear or affirm the information about to provide this hearing authority is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, thank you. Full name.
Alex Getchell, Senior Planner for City of Franklin. Just to give a quick update on 555 Hurricane Street. That process has, or that property has been fixed and repaired. Windows have been boarded. Following our meeting last month, building official Clay Fulkerson actually went to the property with the property owner, went inside and was able to inspect and determine that it was a safe structurally, and the windows have since been boarded, and Clay has gone by to confirm that. So at this point, we are good to release this property from the unsafe building hearings. We have also completed the building permit we had on file for that, and they have been issued a certificate of occupancy for it. So we are good to move forward.
Awesome. We will reflect that in the minutes for the hearing. Moving then to 115.
Yes, sir. So 115 Champ-Ulysses Street. Clay Fulkerson and I have been working internally here at the office to come up with, put together all the information we need and process that we need to go through in order to move forward with getting the detached garage demolished. I've put together a quick outline here. I'll give you a copy of it as I go over it.
Okay, please, thank you. Show that for the hearing today as Exhibit A.
Okay, so for that, the process we've come up with so far in doing our research, and we've spoken to City Attorney Lynn Gray about some of this as well. But in order to proceed, we would need to have an official written order to proceed with doing a title search, and then ultimately to complete the notice of statements that public bids are to be let for the demolition and removal of the structure. Once that order is issued, we are then required to record that order against the property. So once we have that, we will do that. At that time, we would then contact a title company to complete a title search in order to determine all the other interested parties, including the mortgage company. Previously, the property owner had stated that he did have a mortgage remaining on it, so we do suspect that there's at least a mortgage company that has an interest in the property. The next step would be to do a notice of order to proceed to public bids, and to provide those to all interested parties. We have to do that at least 10 days prior to the date of the public bid. And we are tentatively, Clay and I have talked about this, planning to set that bid return date for August 18th, which would be 2 days prior to the August 20th unsafe building hearing, with the idea that we would open those bids at this hearing, as we do need to have a meeting where the bids are opened officially. We may need to change that just depending on timeline of how long it takes, not just for the written order, but also to get the title work completed. So we may have to push that back a little bit in order to meet that 10 days before deadline of notification. So we'll just kind of play that one by ear. Once we have all that, staff will email out a request for quotes to at least 3 qualified contractors. We've already internally discussed a few that are probably capable of doing this, just looking at our previous demolition permits. The request for quotes would include asbestos testing prior to the demolition, the actual demolition, removal of all materials from the site, and then doing final grading and seeding of any disturbed areas. And then that work would be completed within a certain number of days of the contract execution by the Board of Works. That date or number of days we haven't finalized yet. We were thinking probably 90 days, but we may shorten that, just depending on how it goes and what the responses look like. Once we get those back and get the bids back and determine which contractor meets the requirements, and we would prepare the short form contract for signature by the contractor and for acceptance and execution by the Board of Works at the next available Board of Works meeting. And then the final notes that we had here about liability for cost of demolition by order was essentially, was hoping the property owner would be here to hear these, because he is going to be liable for all the costs as well as his mortgage company. As anyone who has an interest in the property is liable for the cost of the demolition. So wanted to make sure he was aware of that. I know he's been resistant to do this on his own, but I do fear that that might not be the best situation for him, but this is how we are proceeding. So, and that's been his decision. So, so he would be liable, and anyone else that has an interest in it would be liable for the actual cost of the work performed under the bid or the quotes. For the title search that we do, cost for all the notices we have to send out, as well as our salaries for the time we spend working on it as staff, and then any costs of supplies, equipment, or office space. So if we need to, for any postage and things like that, paper, that all cost gets transferred back to everyone who's liable for it. So that's the process we've kind of come up with and that we're moving forward with, and seek to have the official order given to proceed with that.
I will certainly issue a order memorializing the last two hearings, well, actually, even before we started this process about a year ago. So I'll memorialize that his presence, knowledge of the order. I'm not sure you were here last time in May.
I'm not sure, I can't recall.
When we again discussed during the open hearing with Mr. Barger his responsibility ultimately for the costs if we proceed forward with a forced demolition. So I will memorialize that. You can proceed, but even before you get the written order with whatever you need to do administratively.
Okay.
I understand you still have to have that order. And I will certainly reflect the authorization for demolition, removal, and sealing of the property for safety pending completion of those tasks. I would assume, based upon your Exhibit A and the summary you've articulated, if I identify a target period of 6 months, that should be sufficient at this time?
Yeah, I would believe so, yeah.
Yeah. We can modify if necessary, but for the record, in the order, I'll reflect the 6 months.
Okay.
We previously had a fine imposed in this proceedings based upon cooperation of Mr. Barger. That was vacated. I do not hear at this time, just want to make sure on the record, the city's not asking for any additional fines, as this appears to be a failure, but a failure not based upon willful conduct.
Correct.
Okay, I think that covers it. Any questions?
Is there a timeline that you wish to reconvene to give any kind of update to this?
Yeah, let's update this in August.
In August?
For
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Otherwise, I don't think I have anything else.
All right. I'll issue the order.
All right.
All right, we're in recess on this matter.
Thank you. staff, we had no other business.